Good afternoon. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. I've got the live Miami coral cam up here. Not a lot of action on it. Saw a couple fish go by. Usually means a predator's nearby, and that's why they kind of go crawling into the rocks. The smaller fish do. And of course, I think that people do that as well. Predators are nearby, people start running for the rocks, that's for sure. Let's take a look at today's theme for the day, which is credibility. Credibility is a leader's currency. With it, he or she is solvent. Without it, he or she is bankrupt. This is absolutely true. I think so many things depend on credibility and credibility. If you could say there's one thing that we're lacking in this world right now, most of all, from our economic and political leadership, you could absolutely, without a doubt, say it's credibility. Completely lacking, including in our marketplaces, So it's just kind of a sad situation that we're looking at. No less, you have to keep a good disposition about it. You have to remember not to get upset, not to get depressed about this kind of stuff, not to get depressed about the manipulation that happens so blatantly and clearly in our faces, whether it's the silver markets that we talk about and the gold markets, or whether it's elections, or whether it's just government in general. And your media, credibility to media is absolutely zero, zilch. Across the board, credibility is a major issue. I won't even say a major issue. There is no credibility out there amongst corporate media, amongst our government officials worldwide, amongst our economic leaders in our marketplaces. Credibility is just getting close to being shot. Once the masses really start to find out, listen, a small percentage of us, I'm including you in this because obviously you're listening to this video and you stack gold and silver, you see what's going on, you see what's happening, and credibility is a major problem. And when the masses start to find this out, and you're not part of the masses anymore, and I'm not part of the masses anymore, we've kind of God, I hate to use the term, waken up. We've awakened from that, okay? From that sleep, from that narrative, from living in completely. Well, anyways, credibility is a major issue. I was about to go get a little sidetracked there. So, speaking of credibility, this video is brought to you by the CME Group, COMEX. CME Group is the world's largest and most diverse crooked derivative marketplace made up of 4 exchanges: the CRIMEX, the CRIMEX CBOT, the CRIMEX NYMEX, and the CRIMEX COMEX. And of course, this is satire, folks. I'm just joking about that. The CME Group does nothing for us. And in fact, they probably don't like me at all. I'm sure about that. I'm sure they don't like people that call them out on their bullshit. And again, this is all my opinion. And the opinion of people way smarter than me, that these people run a crooked casino, all right? And it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay for you to have an opinion on this as well. So my opinion, crooked casino, and CME Group is the one that runs it. And you know what? You have a right to call these people. You have a right to call and complain. You have a right to, as long as you're civil about it and you're not being rude or you're not doing anything illegal, not threatening for sure. I would never condone that anyway. I'm a peaceful person. However, I do believe that, I believe in protest. I believe in our right to let people know how we feel about things and our opinion. I don't think right now, as of yet, having an opinion is illegal. So my recommendation is just call them up on their rules and regulation. Here's their number right here. I'll blow that up for you if you want to pause the screen and write it down. There you go, or cut and paste, or you can't cut and paste that, but or a screenshot. There you go. Give them a call and let them know, or ask them why this happens. For those of you that are really in tune and can ask what the situation is with these big commercial banks that manipulate the price of silver so heavily and been doing it for years, and when is this going to end? Maybe ask them when it's going to end. Maybe ask them to acknowledge if it's true. Maybe to ask them that if it's not true, please educate you how it's not true. Explain to them that you're a silver investor, you're part of this world, and this is why you're calling them. Rules and regulations, you can call them as well. You have concerns, oversight, and clearing. They also have basically their switchboard number, and I forget where that is, but hey, you can do, here, let's take a look down here. It says about us, careers, and there you go, contact us. There's another group of numbers that you can call them on. There's their CME switchboard. You can pause and ask for their CEOs. If you can't get anywhere with that last number I showed you, where was that right there? The last number was right up here. rules and regulations. If you can't get anywhere there, give this number a call, but let them know why you're calling them. Tell them that you're a silver investor. Tell them that you're involved with silver and you've been watching this for a long time, listening to people that are smarter than us. I'm saying us because it's true. People a lot smarter than me have been pointing out this manipulation by these big commercial short positions in the silver COMEX market, and also there's so much just rotten about it, so much stinks. And you can ask them, what are they doing about it? Again, be polite, don't be rude, and don't yell at them or anything. And in fact, let's take a look at what's going on their crooked casino right here. And some of you say, Brian, why are you complaining about this? Why are you complaining about the COMEX, in their crooked casino? It just provides us an opportunity to buy more silver at super cheap prices. And if you watched yesterday's video, you saw the great meme on Wall Street Silver. It was a meme of Wall Street silver guys throwing bricks of cash across a fence, and then on the other side, bankers are throwing silver across the fence. Anyways, if you get the kind of drift of that. And a lot of silver guys say, why would you be complaining about it? We're trading in our fiat at super cheap prices on silver. But that's not all of it. A lot of it has to do with the credibility, man. Who wants to invest in a market that they feel if you know a casino is crooked, this is the downside of the silver issue here, right here, is allowing them to do this and get away with it and not let the masses, not have them get in trouble for it or change their ways, is if you allow them to continue with this, it destroys the credibility of the marketplace. Now, maybe by that time, they'll all be dead and they've milked as much money out of it as they can, and COMEX CME Group will go bankrupt, or they'll get bailed out, or go to jail, or doubtful, but no less. You can't let credibility is everything. And if the casino where silver is played, the game silver is played, just think of silver as a game, and that's one of the games that's played in that casino, is crooked. Why are you going to want to play in that marketplace? That's what the masses are going to think, so we have to be careful about this. And this is why you need to call these people out. This is why I'm thinking you need to call them up, let them know what you think. And the more people that do this, and the more people do it on a daily, weekly basis, I think the better for the markets overall. Letting them know that we're watching them, that we believe this is happening. And listen, if this all turns out to be a huge conspiracy, and I'm completely wrong, and the guys that are really super smart and been doing this for decades, like Ted Butler and GATA.org, are wrong, then they needed to have called this out a long time ago and say, hey, listen, you idiots, shut the F up. You know what I mean? You're wrong. But they haven't, folks. You know why? Because they're doing it. They're doing it. But no less, let's take a look. Good buying opportunity, buy the frickin' dip. I've been doing this so long that these kind of fall in prices, these kind of takedowns. Let's not even call them fall in prices. These kind of takedowns, this manipulated bullshit's been going on so long in my life that I'm just kind of like jaded from it. I know eventually that it moves back up. And when I say eventually, it won't be too far from now. In fact, I'm kind of curious here. We talked about ratios yesterday. We're going to get in that in a moment. Let's just see what kind of crimes they've committed at the COMEX casino today in silver and gold markets. Take a look at this. Low 1846. It looks like we got our low in, the high of 1865. Not a big range here. $20 for gold. Gold's kind of holding its own despite everything else with equity markets and Bitcoin markets and all the other markets across the board taking a giant shit. Gold has actually not done that badly. I mean, it's holding its own pretty good if you think about, I believe it overshot itself at 1950, 1970 for a short period of time there. Even though I think that overshot itself on the crooked paper markets, not overshot itself where it should probably really be in reality, but in the paper markets, I think it's overshot itself in the crooked paper markets, in the crooked casino called COMEX, or run by COMEX, CME Group. 18, again, that's my opinion, 1849 right now currently, so we bounced off that low. Silver, 2159, it looks like we got a low in, and 2212 was a high. It was sitting around that 22 mark this morning a little bit, then I believe when the COMEX market opened at 820, that's when we seem to get monkey hammered again by the big commercial shorts out there and the other crooked motherfuckers. So I said it. There you go. There's your first one. I've been pretty good lately, though. 21 and 68 is where we're currently sitting. Platinum, man, platinum's just been really hanging into that mid 900 level, despite gold and silver doing a whole bunch of gyrations up and down. Palladium seems to have bounced off that $1,900 level. Crazy stuff with palladium. It was almost the price of gold there, folks. I almost hit the palladium buy signal, which, oh well. Hey, we'll take a look at the 24-hour market charts. And while I'm going to the 24-hour charts, let me spin my little coin here. Most of you are saying, hey, what happened to the coin spinning thing? I stopped doing it at the beginning of the show just because, I don't know, I like to change things up. Meanwhile, while the coin is spinning here, it's a bull. This is a long-term coin. I'm calling it a long-term coin. It's a bull. I kind of think we're going to see a bounce up from this. I'd really be surprised if we see any lower levels. But here's our 24-hour chart with gold. Spot prices, again, 820. There we go in the COMEX mid-afternoon markets. Here we are, noontime. They've monkey hammered it down in the CME COMEX market there. Again, provides good opportunity to buy the dips for you those who have not bought in yet. This is my opinion. Let's take a look at 24-hour silver. Same thing. Wow, silver is just a good buy. Although premiums still suck on silver, man. I got to tell you. There you go. Look, see, there's 820 morning market. There's the close of the COMEX market, and it looks like the damage is occurring at the New York COMEX markets here. So 2160, we bounced off that low. Let's see what happens. You know, it's tough to say. I don't think we're going to see sub $20 silver. There's some talk about there in sub $20 silver, but I just can't see it getting that low. I mean, you can't even buy it at these levels. This is such a fictitious level right here in so many ways and so many degrees. I just don't see sub 20. However, could it happen? I guess. I mean, it is so in your face now, folks. And again, this is why I'm encouraging you to call these people. You know, now's the time to scream the loudest. Not scream. That's the last thing you want to do. No one's going to listen to you if you scream. They're going to hang up on you. I would. But now's a great time to call these kind of people and let them know that, hey, listen, I'm just sick of this stuff. It's about time for this to end. What are you doing about this? Does this really exist? Even if you can just get them to admit it's happening, which is doubtful. But likely what you're going to get is what most people get. You're going to get a deaf ear. You'll never get a return phone call. But no less. Again, light up their switchboards. That's my opinion, and do it the right way. Where are we going from here? Well, what do I do best? What am I really good at? I'm a physical trader in precious metals. Of course, you know I own Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in Lauderdale by the Sea. We're a brick and mortar store only, local store here for South Floridians, and we are the go-to when it comes to precious metals. Also, we advertise to beat the big online guys, the big 800-pound gorillas called JM Bullion, on their better priced gold and silver products, which I'm going to go over with you in just one moment here. For those of you that are wondering if I'm going to say anything different than I've said in the last several months as far as what to buy, no. So just fast forward out of this page right here to the next thing. Otherwise, you're going to be bored. For those of you that are new to my videos, what are the best deals out there in gold right now? Still the same thing I've been telling my regular viewers for quite some time. Gold bars are the best deal out there. I won't say any of the stuff is a terrible deal. Premiums on gold are not awful. I mean, really not. There's not a shortage of gold out there. Silver seems to be the hardest thing to supply, the hardest thing to get, and the premiums are just crazy on silver. But gold, not so much at all, folks. And in fact, I believe right now the best deal is Valcombe bars. You should be able to pick them at spot plus $82 or less. I'm not quite sure. They get them as low as, they get them for $1949.50. Let's see what that number actually comes to. Let me see if Serial will work for me here. Ready? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. There we go. 1949.5 subtract 1854.77 equals $94. Ooh, that's a stiff premium. Even for JM, we can beat that price for sure, folks, on JM bars. But my buddy was telling me, and he's really a wholesaler primarily and does millions and millions and millions and millions in precious metals, was telling me that bars were going to start to go up in price because they were getting a little harder to source in gold. As far as Eagles go, what are Eagles as low as? Well, I don't like to use their low as price unless you're buying 100 or more. Take a look at that. That's not so low if you're a guy that can't afford 100. But let's just use the 1 to 10 piece, 1975 per unit. And let me do the math here and see what that comes out to. 1,974.98 subtract 1,853.01 equals. Come on, Siri. $121 premium. So 1 to 10. That's not too bad, too bad either. But for the extra $30, you can buy. Again, I'm just trying to tell you what the best deals out there. For the same price you can buy an Eagle for, you can buy a Valcombi bar and a 1-ounce silver bar for the same price as an Eagle. So I'd rather have the Valcombi gold bar plus a silver bar for the same price that I'd pay for an Eagle. But no less, some people think differently. Krugerrands are probably not a bad deal. Maples are not a bad deal. But again, best deals out there, without a doubt, in my opinion, are about the Valcombi or the different type 1-ounce gold bar products. As far as silver goes, best deal out there is 100-ounce bars, kilo bars, 10-ounce bars, and 1-ounce bars. But just trying to find product right now in silver. I'm going to look at their 100-ounce bar prices. Give me 1 second here. Let's see where they're at on hundreds. And there we go. Give me 1 second here. And what's their 100-ounce? Let's say varied meant any bars or something like that. They have a price of $2,574, and we'll see how that equates into what their premium is. 2,574 subtract 2,185 equals $3.89 premium. So sorry about that. Pause there, man. Siri's pretty slow today. So that's a $3.89 premium. Again, we can beat that on 100-ounce bars. Yep. Give me 1 second here, and we'll take a look at some other things. Products. 1-ounce bars would be the next best. Kilos would be the next best deal. And again, we advertise to beat JM Bullion. Sorry, I didn't mean to get long-winded into this. I just wanted to go over a few more products here. So let's get out of this. Again, we're Commercial Rare Coins and Precious. This is my plug. This is my TV ad here. We're Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Been in Lauderdale by the Sea since 1995. I've been doing this since 1977. So we know the South Florida community pretty good. So if you live in South Florida, I'm the guy to come to when it comes to precious metals. We also do rare coins, paper money, and other things as well. But this is a precious metals video. So and we're very competitive. As you know, I advertise to beat JM Bullion and the other big online guys who, there's nothing wrong with these big online guys. I just very competitive myself. I want your business. I don't want it going out of town, so this is why I do this, to let you know that I can beat their prices, and I'm local. Not only that, is you keep the money local. When you buy from me, I go to the local fish store, the local Publix, the local restaurants, the local plumber, the local mechanic, you name it. I spend my money locally. When you ship your money out of the state to these online companies, I don't care what it is, it's gone forever, folks. Just kiss it goodbye. And I think dealing locally is a big thing. And listen, if you're a brick and mortar store and you can't beat these online guys, then you probably shouldn't be in this particular business. There's a lot to be said about beating the online guys. You get a lot more business as well. Anyways, I would just say, if there's any dealers listening to me, beat the online guys. It'll bring you business. It's good for your community. It's better for your pocket. And it helps your customers, too, beating the online guys. I looked at macro trends charts yesterday. I was looking at which one, gold and silver. I was telling all you silver guys out there, where gold goes, silver will follow. So relax. Gold ultimately is going up. And why is going up? Why is gold going to continue to go up? Because this line continues to go down. This is the consumer purchasing power of the consumer dollar. And as long as that just continues to decline, which it's never going up, folks. In fact, the decline is even faster right now. If you looked at the chart, the 3-month chart, the 5-month chart, it's almost like a slide, straight down. The dollar's declining in such a terrible way. And this is what confuses some people when it comes to gold and silver. Why aren't gold and silver up? Why aren't gold and silver? Well, folks, again, you're dealing with highly, highly manipulated markets. And you know what? I know for sure it happens and again, my opinion, I know for sure it happens in the silver markets, and I'm sure it happens in the gold markets, as GATA.org points out all the time. And then I'm starting to look around the world, and I'm starting to look, it happens all around me. It happens, again, elections, it happens in our economy, it happens in our government, the lies and the narratives. And once you start to open your eyes, you start to realize. And the one thing that gold and silver does is it doesn't lie to you. You know why it doesn't lie to you? Because you know it's been around for 5,000 years. You're never going to wake up and hear it went bankrupt or broke. It's out-survived all these scumbags and all these scumbag governments and all these scumbag politicians and all these scumbag economic leaders and banks and such. All right, I got my scumbag out of me. So the macro trends charts are pretty cool. I was going to talk about a few charts, but this video could get quite long. But I'm going to pick some out this week. But meanwhile, Macro Trends has got some wonderful charts. They don't pay me anything to say this, but to help you out and for you gold and silver stackers, take a look at Macro Trends. Just type in macrotrends.com or whatever it is, and they have a page. Here it is. Hang on, let me show you what it looks like. There's their primary page, and they have all these great, and they're free too. I mean, I guess there's advertising on there, but their precious metal charts are pretty damn awesome. Gold versus oil prices, gold to oil ratio. And big part of my whole videos here is to educate you, because an educated customer helps me out a lot because you spend less time in the store. I'm just teasing. I'm not really teasing, but it's true. Educated customers, when they come into the store, man, they kind of already know stuff that we don't have to explain to them. So it's important to educate people. But a lot of great charts here, gold to oil ratio. Some of them I just don't quite understand or see the relationship, but Fed balance sheet versus gold prices. Take a look at that. That's pretty cool. Well, let's get out of here and see what's happening in equity world. There we go. It looked like the futures had bounced up a little bit this morning, but overall it looks like they're going to start hemorrhaging. Maybe tomorrow's the day we'll see some bigger declines. But NASDAQ, man, all of these got whacked pretty bad. Hey, I was saying months ago that I felt that the Fed and the government was stepping in and preventing these markets, the Dow, the SP, and NASDAQ from crashing. And I also believe that they suppressed the gold markets, the silver markets, or the gold markets primarily. Silver markets are just suppressed on the crooked COMEX markets by the collusive commercial short position that they allow. Gosh, I sound like a broken record. And look, they took off, wow. Crude oil is here right now, but they had actually, at one time, they had Bitcoin down here. Poor Bitcoin, man, that's just getting solidly trashed at all. Let's take a look. 32. It was 31 something when I last looked. And there you go, 31,430. It's breaking down below all its prior highs and stuff. I'm not even going to talk about it because at this point, when you see this kind of hemorrhaging, you know people are losing money. But I never trusted that market, but I don't want to trash it either. I feel bad for these guys right now. And they're dealing in a manipulated market. Anyone that doesn't think that market isn't heavily manipulated, ever since the whales got involved with it and banks got involved with it, only deceiveth themselves. As soon as bankers get involved with anything and government gets involved with stuff, it gets crooked, folks. And that's the problem we have with the gold and silver markets. And, trust me, same thing with Dow. S&P and NASDAQ, those are crooked markets, folks. I'm sure, without a doubt, in my opinion, that the plunge protection team, and again, people a lot smarter than me, Russ and Pam Martin, I think it is, been writing about it for a little while now. A lot of other writers out there and bloggers have been talking that they believe the plunge protection team has been preventing the stock markets, equity markets here from completely collapsing. That's the only way to explain 1,200 point drops in the Dow in a couple hours or during a daytime, and then a reversal above that with no news, no explanation why. We've seen these huge drops, and all of a sudden they jump back up. We've seen a lot of weird stuff going on, folks. That again. And why would they hate gold and silver? Why would they hate Bitcoin? Why would they hate gold and silver? Well, because they're not the darlings. The darlings of the bankers are the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. That's their darling. That's their multi-quadrillion dollar theft market where they make the most money. They're going to try to support that and keep that up. Not only that, there's some belief delusion that we got long ago that banks and the financial industry were the backbone of America, and they probably have become that instead of industry and small business. But us small business people know that ain't true. They're not the backbone of the country. Us small business people are the backbone of the country. And where is all that money going into? It's certainly not going into the small business people. It's going into these people right here. So that market's as fixed as anyone. Let's take a look at GATA.org. There we go. Here, Pam and Russ Martins writes another article. These stock patterns are possible without manipulation that the SEC ignores. This is exactly what I was just talking about. Pam Martins and Russ Martins have been talking about that for a little while. I believe it's being done by the plunge protection team. Again, if you're not familiar with who they are, just stop this video and type in whoever your search engine is, plunge protection team. And you'll know everything you need to know after about 7 minutes of reading. Where else are we going? GATA.org. If you're new to my videos, you got to make sure that you have them on your bookmark bar. These are the guys that explain exactly how these markets, gold markets, not so much silver, but gold markets are manipulated, and primarily by governments. But they are heavily manipulated by big commercial bankers as well. But great article, great site to have on your bookmark bar. Well, where are we going from here? I'm going into my conspiracy here. On Zero Hedge today, they talked about this, and this is my conspiracy here. And here I'm going to share my conspiracy. And you know, conspiracy is not a terrible thing either. I have an educated, kind of an educated guess what I think is going on here, based on our past history in the United States. Biden signs a bill reviving WW2 era Lend-Lease program to Ukraine. You ask yourself, what is that? In a nutshell. He signed a bill reviving a World War II Lend-Lease for Ukraine, paving the way for an escalation of U.S. military aid to Kiev, and allows Biden to send weapons to Ukraine free of charge while technically requiring payment at a later date. Under the Lend-Lease Act, the U.S. sent billions of dollars of weapons to blah, 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 and other allies. All right, and then they end up owing us that money back. Well, that's not abnormal. Well, a lot of people kind of think we're just giving this stuff to Ukraine, but no, we're not giving it to them. We're billing them for it, okay? And that's what this Lease Act is. And not only that, let me remind you something else. The kind of weapons that we're giving them are, look, they're making a big deal about giving these guys, giving Ukrainians the Javelin, all right? The Javelin is such an ancient weapon. It's been around 1996, completely updated. And it comes from the old tank warfare thing. And the same thing with the Soviets, the same thing with the Russians right now, throwing in their old weapons into Ukraine. They're not going to throw in their top-grade stuff. They're going to use up the old shit. Because once they use up the old shit, just like the United States, once we sent all our old Javelins to, which is the case right now, if you've been watching the news, we send them all to Ukraine. Guess what? Guess who, Rayon, or who is it, Rayon, or what is that company, Raytheon? Gets to rebuild more Javelins, all right, or a whole different set of weapons, or maybe kinetic weapons now, which is the newest thing, all right? So all we are is sending Ukraine old, outdated weapons at full retail prices, and we're going to bill them for them later. Now, this is my conspiracy, all right? And it's not even a conspiracy. We are sending them old, outdated weapons, all right? And the funny thing is we know that almost when they cross the border or they get into warehouses, most of them are getting destroyed anyway by the Russians. This is weird behavior on our part, unless, of course, we are just trying to unload all our old shit on somebody and charge them later for it and rebuild new stuff ourselves here. Because, again, you start rebuilding weapons here, it does do jobs, it makes the GDP. Remember how much the military-industrial complex contributes to the GDP. So this is my conspiracy. My conspiracy theory. And but people are going to say, well, Brian, that could very well be true. Maybe that's exactly what we're doing. We're selling them old, outdated weapons, and we expect them to pay us back later. But we know they're going to be broke. How are they going to ever pay us back? Well, here you go, folks. Ukraine's gold reserves, all right, back in 2012, 2014. Look, before the what they call the Maidan Revolution in Ukraine, before that, it looks like they had almost 40 tons or more of gold. And then after the coup, which was supposedly U.S.-inspired coup, it dropped immediately. And what happened right here? You want to hear something funny? United States gold reserve was hastily, and turns out to be fact, it wasn't reported. And remember, this article was done March 4th, 2014, and it has been confirmed that the United States, during the coup that we inspired in 2014, 2016, we flew about 40 tons of gold out of Ukraine. But according to the World Gold Council, Ukraine has 36 tons of gold reserves. So mysteriously, 4 tons of gold has kind of like unexplainable where it went. Gold reserves in 40 sealed boxes were loaded on an aircraft which remained unidentified. Was reported to be transferred last night to Bristol Airport. Witnesses say the board took off immediately after unloading the boxes. According to the reliable government sources, the transfer in gold is ordered by the acting prime minister, who was the new prime minister that was installed during the coup that we. So, folks, we have Ukraine's gold in the United States. We don't have their gold, man. So I know this is a big conspiracy theory on my part, but think about this: selling them old, outdated weapons. We know they're not going to win this war in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's just going to be prolonged until we probably use up, and Europe uses up all these old T-72 tanks and all these old javelins, and then we'll go in and we'll own, United States and Europe will own Ukraine, or whatever's left of Ukraine when this is all over. Again, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it, folks, but it makes a lot of sense when you start to connect these dots, doesn't it? Well, all right, I gave you my conspiracy for the day. Where am I going from here? I'm going to go into yesterday's video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'm just getting back in the groove. I was on vacation, and I feel like I'm getting back in the groove now, but I was on vacation for about a week and a half, and I just, couldn't get my brain around the videos. I even did the videos on vacation. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. They're not that, I'm kind of like quick, and I don't have a lot of information. I'm not thinking, but I'm back on track, folks, and here we are. And yesterday's video, are we there yet? Brain was acting a little bit slow. Wasn't my best ones, but I'm hard on myself here. 3, 2, 1. Let me just get rid of these ads. I can skip the ad there. Take a look at whatever comments we have out here. I'd like to thank all you folks for commenting. My quarter ounce AG, oh, that's good. Even though it's worth less than I paid for it, it feels good when you have it in your hand. Silverline, I'm not a big fan of the premiums on, though. There are some better deals out there. American Gold Eagles, like, or something you could buy in lieu of that, which would be gold sovereigns. You can pick them up for the gold price plus $35 over melt. They're 0.2354 ounces. I think still quarter ounce Eagles are pretty expensive, but good on you, dude. Keep stacking. Thank you, Norman. Tree Climber, PS. Says Clive Lambert, gold 1825, 1800. Feasible, but I don't know, man. Tough to say, but yeah, we could say silver 19. I just don't see that. But on the other hand, if it was at 19, it just kind of fully explains the crookedness of the COMEX markets, the CRIMEX markets, given the above ground availability and given the manipulation and crookedness that goes on, because that, there's no way in frickin' hell that silver should even be at the price that it is right now. No way in hell. The only explainable reason is just pure shenanigans, pure crookedness. All right, let me move along from there. Margin calls, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's margin calls at all. I don't think anyone's selling off their silver to cover margin calls there, JR. I just think this is our standard, typical bullshit at the CRIMEX markets. And yeah, keep buying more there, Dario and Welco. Thank you very much. Your quote, Ben is an author, Ben works for the Times. Oh, interesting. Local shops are out of bullion. The price still drops. I'm not out of bullion, by the way, here in South Florida at Commercial Rare Coins. We got plenty of bullion. But sorry to hear that, Dragon Horton. Maybe drive a little bit further outside your area, see if you can find another dealer. Or ask your dealers, listen, even if they're out, ask them if they'll order it for you. They should have sources. Hey, I'll give you a deposit. I'll pay for it in full. Pay for it in full. They don't, nothing out of their own pocket. Tell them to get it for you and order for you if you trust them. And then wait the week to get it in. See what they'll do for you, especially if they can match or beat JM's prices. Capital currency, always follow your gut. You are absolutely correct, sir. That was my comments from yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of fishy stuff out there. Silverback, Tree Climber, JDF. Yeah, I know, man. Silver is the way. Gold is a good backup. Yeah, hey, man, that's what I'm saying, Ryan, is that if you're a silver guy, you need to follow the price of gold, because wherever gold goes, silver will follow. Speaking of which, did I even do the, give me 1 second. I'm curious what the gold to silver ratio is. 1,849.36 divided by 21.68 equals 85 to 1. That's a sizable. We haven't been up to that territory in quite some time, folks. Let me get back up here. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up. We're still at 85 to 1 on. It tells me two things. Gold is too high or silver is too low. Or I guess I could say some other things as well, but I still think silver is too low. However, both of them kind of moving tandem downward here and still maintaining that 85 to 1. So again, still tells me that I think silver is just way oversold in the bullshit CRIMEX markets. People have been telling me I'm wrong for gold bars. I laugh at them. You're right about that. Michael, what's up, dude? I'm going to do a cup of coffee. Ben is Bob's brother. Derivatives. Comment to increase your algorithm. Hey, thank you, DG. Thank you. I appreciate any algorithm stroking that I get. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And here's my theme for the year, and something I live by is think for yourself and question authority. And even question what you think you know. Where did that narrative in your mind come from? Was it yours, or was it your school teachers? Was it the news? Was it your parents? You know, question your own narrative. You may be wrong yourself sometimes. And once you do that and you become good at questioning yourself, you become so much better at questioning others. So think for yourself and question authority, folks. Hey, this is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Same location since 1995. Been doing this since '77. If you're buying gold or silver, or you're doing anything in rare coins, paper money, whether it's U.S. or foreign, we do that stuff as well. And we also have an estate jewelry business and silverware, but I'll get into that later. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.